Sooner Nation, ask and you shall receive. Because this weekend, we had visitors on campus, specifically some big time defensive line transfers, and the domino has started to fall, at least on one of them. And that's going to be Jermayne Lole, originally from Louisville, now at Oklahoma. This is a big time pickup in the portal. Just like we talked about Hickman, you're building in the trenches, preparing yourself for this SEC run. And this defensive line room from Oklahoma, especially after the spring game, you're starting to feel a little bit more confident, and it's starting to get one step closer to that elite level that we talked about last week. Before we dive into it, though, I need to hear from y'all, so join the discussion. Jump down the comments below and give me your thoughts on Lole, because, again, I think this is a really big pickup for Oklahoma, and here's why. Lole, as a defensive lineman last year, graded out at 75 point, or in 2019, which was one of his best years, graded out as a 75.9. 75.9. In 2023, last year, graded as a 69.1. Now, obviously, coming back from injury, not really doing a whole lot there, but this is a guy that, per the PFF metrics, he has been an absolute stud. I mean, 2020, 85.9, 2019, 75.3, 2018, 60.5. Like, he's gotten better. And outside of the injury problems, Lole has been a guy that these teams have been able to rely on. Originally at Arizona State, though, then coming to Louisville. When you look at, and I'm looking at 2019, when you look at some of the teams they had to play and some of their better competition, right? How did he grade against that competition? Well, against at UCLA, 63.7, at Utah, which has been a decent team in college football, at least top 25 team every year, 77.3. Against USC, 68.1. Oregon State, 73.6. Oregon, 66.4. Florida State, 59.7. And Arizona, 78.8. Like, he performs well. And getting him in a room where you got a guy like Dejon Terry, who last season, he played a pretty chunk of snaps at nose tackle for you. Dejon Terry graded out as 76.9. Had his best season to date in college football at Oklahoma. And he played some of his best football against some of the best teams. You're going to get more guys like this in rotation. And if you guys were watching the spring game, you saw Devon Sears actually perform well and actually be a shocker. Like, Devon Sears got in the backfield. He got 3 tackles, 1 sack. I believe he got 2 QB hurries. And then you had Grayson Halton to add to that, 4 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and he had a sack. So this interior defensive line for Oklahoma, with the guys who currently have in that room, it's a good defensive line room. But you add a guy like Lole in there, it now becomes great. And if we can add one more interior defender, like another nose tackle, this defensive line, dare I say, goes to elite. Now, there's a couple different prospects you're looking at there. We talked about Demonic Williams, and that visit went really well at Oklahoma. Now, he is going to be taking other visits. And for a lot of people need to understand, like, when he was in high school, they didn't really get to do the whole visit process thing. So there's a chance that he's doing these visits to kind of just experience the process. But he might already know where he wants to know. He already might know because he spent a lot of time in Oklahoma. He spent a lot of time with Todd Bates. I'm sure they've got him taken care of from the NIL standpoint, because the number that I was told was stupid ridiculous. So I think Oklahoma is in a good spot with Williams. Now, how the visits go, I think those are going to be the deciding point on this, but it looks like this is a factor where, hey, he just wants to go through the process. He wants to see everything out there because he didn't get to do that when he was in high school. So you land a guy like that with Lole, this is an elite defense. You've also got the kid from Michigan State. He gets in there. He's going to be a part of this 3T. I don't know if he's your nose tackle, but listen, I wouldn't complain. Like, he's not Williams, but he's right there. So Oklahoma, they're making moves in the transfer portal. And they want to make sure that when they go and play the SEC and they're having to line up against some of these bigger offensive linemen over there, they've got guys that can attack and they've got guys that can run what they want to do. And you got you got not only Devon Sears, but you got the two freshmen that are coming in, Jaden Jackson, David Stone. And we saw them in the spring practice. They looked impressive, especially with their size. So you'd imagine come fall time, they're going to be in the rotation and they're going to be playing at a high level. But Jermayne Lole, in his career, he has had 45 QB hurries. He's had 83 tackles for loss. 83 tackles for loss. He had 75 solo tackles. I believe he had 141 total tackles. Like, this is a guy, he gets to the quarterback. He does what he needs to. He gets into that backfield. He causes havoc. And that's what you want. That's what Oklahoma's been missing. They've been missing the mean, big boy. Like, what's what we're going to call him? Big boy offense or defensive lineman to be able to rotate. It's great that you have Terry. But we need guys behind Terry. Guys that can come in, give Terry a little bit of a load off. That way you don't get to the middle of the season in the SEC and you have guys that are gassed or guys that are getting hurt, right? You can load manage a little bit better. I know everybody hates that because we talk about it in basketball all the time and then guys don't show up to play. But I don't want fans to undersell the value of Lole committing to Oklahoma and the pickup this is going to be. This is a huge pickup for Oklahoma because it provides extreme competitive depth, which I guess we don't even really need to call it competitive depth anymore. You just need depth, right? I think that's what it provides. And with what I saw out of Devon Sears in the spring game, I'm way more confident now in what I think this defensive line can be going into the SEC. So you guys all let me know your thoughts. Join the discussion. Jump in the comments below and let me know. We know in 25, Oklahoma, you got Trent Wilson. You've got Kamori Moore. You're potentially going to get Cole Breiler, right? Maybe you get Xavier Ukponu. That's one that if I'm Oklahoma, I'm kind of watching now because you got Zane Rowe, the 27 edge rusher in. Kevin Sperry is at Denton Guyer, and I'm sure Todd Bates will want to probably get in communication a little bit more with the opponent. The problem is it too late? Is he too far into his recruitment? Regardless, Oklahoma is going to continue to build up this defensive line. They're going to continue to compile talent, and I think it's pretty well shown. And I think this season, if you do really well with your one-year guys like Demonic Williams, DeJoun Terry, and Lole, and then you get true freshmen in there like David Stone and Jaden Jackson, and they perform well, I think that's going to do wonders for you on the recruiting trail. And then I don't think you have to rely on the portal to hit on some of these elite defensive linemen as much. So, again, jump in the comments below. Let me know what your thoughts. Hey, and if you guys have made it this far and you have not already, make sure you hit that like and you hit that subscribe button.